First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana.
I say, here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
You got the dollars? You got the dollars? See the special man on YouTube. He's got it all.
I got an offer. I got the dollars. Let me have it, please. I got the dollars.
I say. This is Johnny's, the place that'll let you have it with no problem.
Let him have it.
Johnny has a sale right now. I say. This is Johnny's place. Let him have it with no problem. See the special man.
Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you give us the offer.
You got the dollars. You got the offer. Well, let him have it with no problem. Let him have it.
You got it.
I am looking for some jewelry. End of line.
Do you have any credit?
No, I was recently involved in a divorce. End of line. Look, I'm not one of those maybe it's Maybelline gals, okay? I just want to go out on the town with Sheila and accessorize some.
See, special man.
I don't know about you, but this dough girl is going to Johnny's place. Check out Cajun Roots Reseller right now. I say. Go see the special man and tell him the dough girl sent you.
Hello, good morning and welcome on this Taco Tuesday. How is everyone doing this morning? Hope you're staying cool. Hope you're staying hydrated and drinking a lot of water. Let's see who was first in the chat. Was Regina. Hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? And Craig, wake up. Stop that sleepwalking. Good morning, hello, and welcome. Get you some coffee. Hashtag not Glenn. Randy, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? And Scarlett, hello, good morning and welcome. And Angela, hello, good morning and welcome. And Randy, hello, good morning and welcome. I know what you mean by that statement. Yeah, I think everybody's household does that. Yeah, well, it's going around. You just got to wait for it until it gets to you. Anna Marie, hello, good morning and welcome. And little Debbie, hello, good morning and welcome. And Mike, welcome back. How are you doing? Good to see you. Great to have you back in the chat. I saw your latest video, I think it was like 3 months ago. Thank you for coming back. It was good to see you again. Let's see who else is here. Yep, he's back. Now this I'm confused about. I don't know how she coming back. When she come back? What's going on with her? Lord Jesus, Victoria who? I love it. Buying Space, hello, good morning and welcome. And Jennifer, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Yes, it's really good to see him. Back in the mood. Going back to bed. Oh, I wish I could. Missed you too. Uni Magic, hello, good morning and welcome. And Mary, hello, good morning and welcome. And Robin, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And good morning to you too, Mike. I don't know why I said Mark, that's Mike. Queen of all mods. Yep, that is so true. Right now I'm waiting for the my guest today. Having some internet issues, but we'll be here as soon as possible. So while we're waiting, I will go ahead and go through the calendar of events. Don't forget this Thursday I will be on at 1 o'clock with Ella, Saved Here First, as well at 7:15 on Glamour's Closet with her classy crap auction. As well as the calendar is filled with a lot of great shows scheduled for today. If you have not checked out that calendar, please do so by going down the community tab below. And if you do not see your channel name and you have a regular show on a calendar date, let me know by you going live, letting me know by that comment, or you can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. So with that being said, my guest is in the back room, and today we're going to be talking about if you have any interest, questions, or thinking about, or you may have a pile of comic books you don't know what to do with. Well, we have a guest today to discuss that. And that's none other than Michael with Angry Otter, and he came in as Comics, but y'all know him now as Reacts. Well, hello, good morning, and welcome. You got your back, right? Thank God.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so I lost internet this morning, and my phone didn't want to connect either, but finally got it connected. So hi, I'm here.
Can you turn your phone horizontal, vertical?
It won't let me.
It won't. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
then we'll do that then. All right. For those who don't know, that Michael does a lot with comics. Usually when I have a question or something, I always send him a message. He's pretty good at answering those questions. So if you have been outsourcing and you see these comic books and you just don't want to fool with it and you don't know what to do with them, and you have those questions, here's the time to do that and ask away in the chat. So I'm going to start with Michael. First of all, Michael, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how did you get into comics and all that good information.
Well, I've been on YouTube for about 5 years now. I started off as a general reseller, and I decided to move out to the countryside. And, I used to have a huge warehouse full of inventory, and when we moved, I had to get rid of the warehouse, so I didn't have space at the new home. So it's like, what can I do to keep that same kind of income coming in, but without as much space? And the answer was comics. So I had been watching Horizon Picks. He does his comic sales every Friday, and I used to collect comics when I was a teenager. I was like, you know what, that'd be fun to do again. So it's kind of how it naturally progressed, and it did. It's worked out really well. I've made a lot of money off the comics.
So for those who have not gotten into comics or just has that pile of comics they have, what would be some tips that you would give them in reference to getting started? Like, for example, where could they find, what would be a good site for them to go to do their research on any particular type of comic?
So first insight I would give you is old doesn't necessarily mean valuable. And new doesn't necessarily mean cheap. So as an example, that one I was just holding up, this is a key issue. First appearance of the Hellverine, which is it's Wolverine as Ghost Rider, right? So that's a key. This one's worth about $20. It's not super expensive, right? But you also have stuff like the Slab. This is also fairly new. This is the first Red Hulk. Came out in the last couple of years, and this one is worth about $800. So I use a site called Go Collect, and at Go Collect you can actually see. It'll tell you how much the slab value is, which this is a slab. It's a comic book that's been encased and graded. This one is CGC. There's also CBCS. So it'll tell you what the value is of the slab. On the right side of the page, you have eBay listings already searched for you, and you can see all the different comics, the raws being sold on eBay. This is what we call raw, something that's not been graded, and it's a good way to get your values on a comic book. So that was Go Collect.
What was the website?
Go Collect.
Go Collect. Okay. And welcome, Ella. Who else came in? Robin, hello, good morning, and welcome. And so when somebody's outsourcing, what would you recommend if, say, for example, you're in an area you can't really do any comps on your phone? What would you recommend somebody do when it comes to these type of comics? What should they be looking for in the comics?
So grade has a lot to do with the value of a comic. You want something that's in, very fine to near mint condition. You're not going to find anything out in the wild that's in mint condition. It'll be near mint. Near mint would be a 9.8 grade. So that's the first thing to look for, is condition on a comic. Second thing is it a known title? Is it the stuff you're seeing in the movies right now? Is it the Marvel stuff? Is it the DC stuff? There are independent comics out there, and some of them do have value, but you're going to find that Marvel and the DCs typically have a lot more comics that have value, because those are the ones that kind of started everything, right? So that's another thing that I would look out for when you're outsourcing, is it a known title? And then as far as the age of the comic, if you've met the first two, if it's a high graded comic, it's something that looks fairly new, right? and then it's something that's a known character. Like this is, you know, the Hulk, and this one actually has Iron Man as well. Then you can be fairly safe that it's going to be worth something, right? How much? We don't know, but it's going to be worth something.
Mhm.
A near mint Marvel comic, modern, you're going to be running in the $3 to $5 range on average as just a basic comic. But if you're picking it up from a dollar bin, you know, pick it up for $1, flip it for $3. Not a big profit there, but you might hit something that is a $5, $10, or $20 comic. So it's getting to know the brands of comics. You know, is it your publishers? Is it DC? Is it Marvel? What characters? And just getting a feel for what was unique with each one of those. So like these,
Mindset has a question for you.
Yeah.
Are there manga comic books? I'm sorry, I didn't.
well,
don't know that
manga is
word.
manga. So yes. So manga is the Japanese style of comic.
Oh, okay.
It's more a graphic novel, not comic book. And yes, manga is actually probably becoming more popular today than what comics are. So that's a whole nother market, and it's very, very popular. So it's
Now,
Japanese
for those
style
who don't,
cartoon.
and for those that don't know, what is a graphic novel compared to a comic book? Because there is a big difference.
So graphic novel is typically thicker. The artwork is the style of it's a little bit different. It's more the only way I can say is not as cartoonish. It's more refined in its artwork. But that's a graphic novel. It's like a book. It's thicker. Give me just a second, and I'll grab one if you don't mind.
Okay. Hello, good morning, and welcome, Angela. How are you doing? Good morning, hello, and welcome. I see your question, Golden Age, and I'll do that as soon as he gets back. I do have it starred, so I don't miss it. Creations by D, hello, good morning, and welcome. So if you have any questions about comics, or you have that stack of comics you just haven't touched yet, and you're wondering what to do with it or how to research it, ask those questions.
Yeah. So this is a graphic novel. So you can see it's more of a book format.
Let me do this.
And you can see the artwork is a little bit more detailed.
And also, don't they come in hardback as well?
They do.
All right, you have a question here from, let's see, Golden Age Crochet. I'm wondering if you have heard of the Space Above and Beyond 3-part set comics, and what was that site?
I have not heard of that comic set. The site that I was talking about earlier was Go Collect.
Go Collect.
Yeah. GOCOLLECT. Go Collect.
All right, and if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask away. And Ella has, graphic novels are generally standalone stories with more complex plots. Well,
Not necessarily. There are graphic novel series that are basically a compilation of the stories from the comics that they've turned into graphic novel style. So with your graphic novel, you might get 5 issues of a comic book bound together as a story.
Now, you was talking about the slabs. When someone has comics, not knowing what would be the right time for them to think about if they're wanting to get it graded, when should they take that step and do it, and how does that process work?
So slabbing costs money. To get something slabs in a range between $35 to $50. So you're only going to want to slab something that has a lot of value to it. You know, if you have a $3 comic, you don't want to send that in to be graded because there's not going to be any value in it, right? So if you have something that's rare, you know, like I said, this is a key. It's the first appearance of the Red Hulk. Then for something like this, yeah, I would send this in to be graded. This one graded as a 6.0 right there. So it's about a mid grade. And even though I don't know why it was dinged so hard, it actually looks really good. It presents a lot better than that, probably about an 8.5. I might have to get this regraded. But yeah, they're easier to sell because all the information is already in the slab. You know what grade this is going to be. You don't have to guess. This is a 6.0. It already has the details of the comic. This is Hulk number 1. Down here, it tells you why it's a special comic, that this is the first appearance of the Red Hulk, right, on the cover. And then it's also protected because it's in the plastic case. These don't open. So once it's in here, it's in here. This would have to be cracked to take it out. So selling slabs and buying slabs, or getting something slab to resell, it's easier because, like I said, all the details there. It's easy to look up prices. You don't have to guess. You don't have to be like, is this a mid grade? Is this a higher grade? You know, is it very fine? Is it near mint? You know.
So when somebody's doing this, though, does that actually bring the value up on a comic when you're going to sell it as being
It does.
graded?
Yeah, once
Good
it's
morning,
graded,
Sheila.
it increases the value. Just the fact that it's already encapsulated like that, all the information's there, and so you'll get more off a graded comic than you will off a raw comic.
Right. So what would be the comics that somebody would want to stay away from when they're looking out for different, say they have a stack of comics or they got a comic set from an estate sale or garage sale? What are some of the things you might want to stay away from when it comes to comics?
So comics that are in bad condition, that's not always so it's all subjective. You got to learn a little bit about the comics first, but basically comics that are in bad condition. However, if you find a comic from the 1960s that are in bad condition, it might still have value. You know, definitely want to make sure it has its cover. There's a lot of comics being sold on YouTube right now that are coverless, and the prices that they're asking for them, it's not worth that. It's nice to own a rare 1960s or 1950s comic, and you got it for $10 because it doesn't have a cover on it. So it's nice to read it, but it's not really worth it for your collection or resale.
So can comics be an actual good way of investment?
Yes, comics are a great investment. Right now, the comic market took a bit of a downturn, so this is a good time to buy comics. Just like with anything else, you want to buy low, sell high. So right now, the values have come down because the market is kind of correcting itself after COVID, where the comic market just spiked. Everyone was taking their free money from the government and buying comics with it, in the expensive comics. So it's kind of correcting itself right now. So right now is a good time to buy comics. And if you do it right, you can sell them at a profit. I went to Vegas earlier in the year in February, and I sold some comics on eBay that I had gotten slabbed, and I made $3,000, just around $3,000 in 1 month off the comics, and that was my profit, not my overall cost plus profit. It was all profit. So
Right.
that paid for my vacation for the year.
That's even better.
Yep.
So if you have any questions about comics, please ask away in the chat. So what is the oldest comic that you ever found in your collection?
Oldest one that I have in my personal collection, I think, is 1952. It's a Superboy comic. It's a slab. I think that's the oldest one that I have.
What's up, Patrick? So my next question is, where would somebody find the best say for example, they're looking at somebody making them a big deal on comics, how would you adjust the price accordingly if you are able to go through those comics and someone's offering you a bundle deal? What would you recommend for that as far as somebody going through a big bundle of comics at a good price?
So, as far as selling a bundle or buying a bundle?
Like, say someone's buying it as a purchase to resell
Okay.
or to collect.
So, what I did in the beginning when I got into doing comics, I had absolutely no inventory. Is I went on eBay and I bought the $50 boxes of like 100 comics that people were selling, the mystery box. And I actually hit pretty well on a couple of those boxes. I had one that the guy was obviously, had a comic book shop or something, was selling off his excess inventory. And I got quite a few keys out of that box that were worth like $5 a piece. And I got like 100 of them, And so it was a good way to build up some inventory was by buying the mystery boxes. So that was the start. Then going through that inventory, pricing it out by looking at my comps on eBay or going to Go Collect, I was able to find the ones that had, the good value to them and then flip those by selling them on eBay and then later on YouTube. And then taking that money and buying bigger comic books. So I started off with, these little mystery boxes, and then I ended up turning into slabs. I had a wall of 50 slabs in there for sale. And those were $100, $200 a piece comics that I made the money for those by flipping the dollar books that I got off of eBay in the mystery box.
Right.
So you keep building
I
up.
have a question for you. Are comics with remarkable art more valuable framed to display the art or unframed and therefore readable?
So there's two different camps when it comes to comics. There's people who like to have everything slabbed because it's uniform, they're protected, they're easy to display. And then there's those purists that say don't ever slab anything because you can't read it. But then if you read it, you're damaging the comic, and so therefore you're taking away value to it. So it's two different camps. There's no right answer to that. You do what is best for you. It's comics is about enjoying what you're getting, whether it's the artwork. I'm more about the artwork than I am about the story. So I like to have everything slabbed. Now I've read a lot of them, but mainly I collect for the artwork. But that's for me. I collect for artwork, right? And I enjoy that pursuit of good art. And then once I've had it for a little while, then I don't mind flipping that out to get something else that I wanted.
Right. Well, I've understood since I've gotten into comics, not only buying to resell, but also looking into like the artwork and the research on these. But I'm noticing that most people, they'll buy two copies, one for a slab and one for them to enjoy.
Right.
Do you find yourself doing that as well?
I don't do that, but I know people who do. So with Marvel, every comic book pretty much that Marvel has ever made is online. They have a digital subscription service that you can go in and you can read them on the computer. So it's page by page, and they're cheap. They're like $1 or something to read a comic. So I'll do that if there's a comic I really want to read and I buy it as a slabbed version, because most stuff I get is Marvel. I do get some DC, but mostly Marvel. I just go on the Marvel site and I read them from there.
Randy wants to know, what about fantasy art cards?
So I don't do anything with cards. Unfortunately, I can't speak to that. So I don't do any of the card collecting stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole nother genre.
It is.
How you doing this morning, Scott? How's Johnny doing? Hope she's doing well. Going through her physical therapy. So if anybody has any questions having to do with comics, please ask away in the chat. So for those who don't understand the grading system, so to say, I know that some places that I watched a lot of videos on this stuff. So when it comes to grading, is it true that you can send in more items for a better price if you send more items in to be graded at one time, or is it more expensive to send one in at a time?
It's more expensive to send one comic in to be graded just because the shipping costs. So you got to factor that in when you grade stuff. So I typically do 10 comics at one time so that the shipping is, the cost is absorbed by all 10 comics plus one comic. It just keeps the value higher for me for resale.
Right.
And you can send in multiple copies of the same comic to CGC to be graded if you're chasing after like 9.8. So 9.8 is not the top grade, but it's the top grade in the wild, basically. You can find a 9.9 every now and then where this is something that, you've touched the corner with gloves and, there's not a speck on it. That's a 9.9. And then there's the unicorn out there, which is a 10. So those 9.9s and those 10s, they're worth good money just because of how rare of a condition those are. So really,
go ahead.
So really, your grading scale starts at 9.8 down.
Yeah, I have 2 graded slabs at 9.8. So also, Bearded Picker, thank you for letting us know. No PTs by next week. They have not removed the stitches. Only one side. She's getting out Friday. Awesome. Keep her in my thoughts and prayers, and you too. Buying Space wants to know, Michael, where do you buy your board and bags?
Amazon.
And that brings me to that same question, though. What is the right board and bags to buy?
Okay, so I get my boards and bags from Amazon. One day later, it's at my door. It's really convenient, and the prices are really good. I have Golden Age comics, so I have to get Golden Age bags and boards for those. I have Silver Age comics, so I have to get Silver Age bags and boards for those. And I have Modern Age comics, so I have to get Modern Age bags and boards for those. So it goes by age of your comic. Golden Age comics, which, those are going to be your 1940s, your 1950s comics. They're wider, so it requires a bigger board and bigger bag. It won't fit in a modern, right? You go into Silver Age, and that's kind of like a medium size. So it's about 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch shorter in width. And so you need a bag that kind of fits that and a board that will fit into that bag. So they have those. And then Modern Age. So anything, from the 80s, 90s, and today that's like this, that you'll get the bags and boards for those. The nice thing is, if you just on Amazon type in Golden Age bags and boards, it'll come up with them. And there's multiple companies out there that have them. I like to get the ones that have the pre-seal on the back. So it's just a little piece of plastic. You peel it off and it closes for you. So you don't have to use any tape, because you have to be very careful with comics. When you use tape on the back, you want to use painter's tape, not Scotch tape. That Scotch tape will damage your comic. So when you try to pull it out, the tape will touch the front of your comic and pull the ink off of it.
Wow.
So it's called the ink.
Randy has a question. Who is the best market for collecting comics? Where best to sell?
So I sold all my comics on eBay. Well, that and on Roy's channel, we do the Friday comic sale. On YouTube, you can do sales with comics. eBay, you can sell them. If it's a slab, you could probably even do it on Poshmark. But that's not really a market for it. Neither is Etsy. So I was thinking more with like eBay, or YouTube auctions, or Facebook Marketplace if you want to try to sell local.
And also Whatnot's been picking up on comics a lot for Whatnot.
Whatnot is crazy with comics. Now I don't use Whatnot, so I can't talk to that. But
I don't
yeah,
sell those. All right, so Patrick has a question. I mean, I do whatnot, but I've only did 1 or 2 comic book sales, and it was okay. Let's see. Patrick says, "Is it a flat fee, or is it a flat fee plus a percentage of the value that GCG assesses on the book slab?"
So CGC, it's a flat fee for most books, unless it's a high value book. We're talking about $1,000 or more comic book. Then it'll be a scale where they charge you a percentage.
Sheila made a good point. Don't forget, today and tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day. That'll be the best time to get you some discounts. Craig said, "I think the fees based on value is crazy. That is a racket." Danielle, hello, good morning, and welcome. I have some comics from the 50s and 60s. I really don't know what they are worth today.
Yeah, so a website like Go Collect can help you find the values of those. 50s is going to be, if it's early 50s, is going to be your golden age. If it's late 50s, it's going to be start of the silver age, going into the 60s. That's the good time period for comics. And it just depends on what title you have and what the condition is of it, as far as what the value is going to be. If it's something that you personally collected from that time period and you weren't a real collector, you just kind of had them, probably going to be in the very good to fine range is what your condition will probably be at. I don't know without seeing it. But yeah, check it out. Those are the prime comics that people are looking for.
Now, my next question, because I don't have another question in the chat. When someone's storing comics, what is the best way for them to store those comics? And is it good to do it and store it in a basement?
No, on the basement, because basements have moisture, and this is a comic book, so it will absorb that moisture, even if sealed in a poly bag. As far as storing a comic, they have boxes that they make specifically for comics, and that's the best way. The short boxes, and once you get to a certain point, you might get a long box. They're not that expensive. Again, you can pick them up on Amazon. But actually, those I buy on eBay because they're cheaper on eBay. So, but you can get a comic box and then store them in there. That's to protect your comics.
I use the collapsible plastic cases. They're like a cardboard box, but they're made out of plastic, and they're very easy to store. And they even have the lock caps on the tops. That's what I use.
Yeah, those are good.
I have a question. So, if DC and Marvel are best, who is it not worth messing with?
So again, comic books are subjective. It's based on personal taste. You can't say that that a particular comic's not worth anything, because there's always someone who wants that comic, right? I typically stay away from Archies, even though there are Archies that have value, but the bulk of Archies, at least more modern Archies, don't have value. So that's one I stay away from, even though I like Archie. I like the series, and I will read them. I will not buy them to resell, just because it's so hit or miss with them, you know. But yeah, it's a subjective market. So what one person dislikes, another person loves, and you can't just disregard an entire franchise just because you don't think it'll be a good seller, because there is a market for everything.
Right, exactly. All right, so if anybody else has any questions having to do with comics, please feel free to ask away in the chat. That's what Michael came here for today, to help us out with this topic. That's quite the group, Debbie. Oh, he's talking to Debbie. Craig, wake up and drink some coffee. Come on, Craig.
So another thing I would recommend is just watch YouTube videos, and that way you get a good feel for grading. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about how to grade a comic book. You can watch videos of comic book sales to get an idea of what's kind of hot right now, what's selling, to get a feel for what the market is running at the moment. So that'd be another suggestion.
Randy also has another question. Are kids' comics collectible, like Archie, Richie?
Some are.
I think it's Richie Rich and then Casper. Well, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Richie Rich.
the gold key comics are not as valuable, but they're still collected. And there are some that are out there that, even though it's a gold key or it's a, you know, a kid's comic on one of the other publishers, that they have values. So, I mean, good value, because it's about the artist. Is it their first work? You know, is it a key? There's so much that goes into it that makes a particular comic book valuable. It's not just the title and the age. It's, was there anything unique that happened with that book? You know, it's modern, so this is of course just going to be a barcode and it's direct. But the 70s, 80s, the barcode right here told you if it was a newsstand or if it was a direct market, and that changes the value of a comic. Not by much, but during that time period, most people want newsstands, you know?
Yep.
So you had to find what's unique about that book.
Ella wants to know, would you put your comic books on a coffee table or under the blanket? Michael.
I would throw one at
And
you,
Mark.
Ella. I would throw one at you.
That's right. Are comics tied to a TV show or toy valuable like He-Man and Star Trek?
He-Man's very popular, and there are issues of He-Man that actually are worth quite a bit of money. What was the other one? The other one's not so much. So yes,
Trek.
Star Trek. Star Trek, for whatever reason, just never really caught on in the comic world. There's plenty of Star Trek comic books, but there none of that I know of that are worth like crazy money. But others are. Other comic books are. Like, I have Battlestar Galactica in there. I have House 2, which is a horror movie that they did a single issue comic book for. I have that in there. I have Krull, which was a sci-fi movie from the 80s. I have Cool World. Cool World, there's only 5 comic books. There's the movie adaptation, and there's 4 in the series. And those are worth some pretty good money, like about $50 a piece, you know? And I picked them up for $1 a piece on YouTube on an auction. So, yeah, some of the TV shows and the movies, they go up quite a bit in value, but not all.
All right, everybody. So Michael's not going to be able to stay the whole show because he does have to leave. But again, I want to thank Michael for coming out. So I do have another question for those who may not know. I want you to categorize and put into which one's better than the other when it comes to first print. Is it a variance cover, or is it a multiple printing in that same category or that same comic book? What is the ones that we want to look for when it comes to those type of comics?
Always first print. First print's going to be worth more. Well, 95% of the time, first print's going to be worth more than a second or third printing. Your variant covers, the covers themselves don't necessarily change the value of the comic all that much. There are some occasions where it will, just because people want that particular artwork over the other. But usually, it's just what you like best for the cover art. Is it a Nakayama cover, or is it a Scotty Young cover? So like Scotty Young has a pretty good following, and his stuff looks like the pop figures, right? That's kind of his comic book style, and so people like that. They kind of gravitate to it. So a Scotty Young cover might go for $1 or $2 more than another variant cover, just because people like that art style.
Right. Well, everybody, is getting to that time where Michael has to get ready to go for work or whatever he has to do. I want to thank Michael for coming here. And I'm gratefully thanking Michael for coming on, because this was a last minute decision. I had somebody who was already scheduled for today and they canceled on me yesterday. So I wanted to reach out to Michael, and he said yes immediately. So thank you so much for doing it. And before you do leave, give anyone who's thinking about it or may have that stack of comic books, what would be some tips you would give them as far as getting started on either listing them, looking up comps, or what to do from there?
Yeah, it's just basic research, just like treat it like any other item you would resell, right? So it's a commodity. You're going to want to look at what the overall condition is of the item. If this was a glass piece, does it have any chips, any cracks? Here, are there any wrinkles down the side, which would be spine ticks, right? Are there any dog ears in the corner? You know, condition. Taking that condition and then looking up the value from eBay or Go Collect or any of there's tons of sites out there that have comic books. And just a little bit of basic research.
And my one and final question, when someone's got these comic books, and I see this a lot, when should they determine to put it in a bag and board?
I like to bag and board anything that's worth over $1.
Okay.
It keeps it uniform, it protects the comic, and it gives it a much nicer look, right? So if I'm trying to sell it, it presents a whole lot better in a bag and board than it will raw. And I don't have to worry about damaging that comic by holding it up and showing it. So anything over $1, I'll bag and board.
All right, so Little Debbie has dropped Angry Otter's Michael's link, as well as his Instagram. If you need to reach out to him and you may have some questions or you want him to think about it, reaching out to him, definitely reach out to him on Instagram. That's one of the best ways to reach out to him. There's the link to the Go Collect that Little Debbie's been dropping. And thank you, Little Debbie. Jennifer had to go she said she was going back to bed. So thank you for doing that, Little Debbie. And Renee, hello, good morning, and welcome. And also, don't forget, today at 9 o'clock is Queen City Picker going live. And also, are you going to be on any shows that you would like to promote before you have to leave?
No. I was just on a show, but yeah, have me live on YouTube these days is a little bit rare, but nothing coming up in the pike at the moment. I am in most of the chats though, so y'all will find me on Roy's channel in the chat. You will find me, on Johnny's channel in the chat every day. So I try to hit the chats as much as possible. But
I'll leave you with one more question, because Ella did come in with a question. But would that increase the cost on that comic?
On the bagging and boarding all your comics, yes, but not by much. So by bagging and boarding a comic, you're probably throwing 25 cents towards that comic. Remember, when you buy a stack of boards, it's like 50 to 100 boards in a bag, and the comic bags themselves, there's like 50 to 100 in the pack. So it doesn't increase the cost all that much to bag and board, and it's a well worth investment to protect the comic when selling.
I buy these. Yep, they're both 100. You can buy these in a pack of 100. I'll buy these in a pack of 100. That's the boards. And then also the bags. I have different styles and sizes because of different size of comics. But those are also in 100 bags, 2 mil. And so that's what you want. Basically, just go on Amazon, and that's where I buy them at. And when you purchase them, then a pack of 100. And there's different types, like Michael was saying. There are different sizes because there are different size comics. So make sure you get the right one. And again, thank you so much. Newsmatics, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And Harry, hello, good morning, and welcome. And thank you so much again, Michael, for coming on and doing this for me with this topic. And again, I do try to do every Tuesday and Thursday with a topic of anything about reselling. When it comes to, you just never know what topic. And don't work too hard, Michael. And thank you so much for all what you do for the community in the chats.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you, Johnny.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So make sure you are following Michael. Also, don't forget to, if you need to contact him, reach him at Instagram, on his Instagram account. And here's all of Jennifer's information. Little Debbie has been dropping the links while Jennifer had to step away. And now it's time for me to drop the links for Jennifer, as well as the link to come on up. If anybody would like to come on up, you're more than welcome to do so, especially if you would like to promote your channel or anything you have special going on. And that's coming in, and I get it copied and pasted into the chat. And there we go. Let me pin that to the top and pin and change the setting, the layout. Done. There we go. All right, back to the chat. All right, let me see here if I'd missed anyone. All right, Newsmatics. Danielle, hello, good morning, and welcome. Jennifer's back. I said, good morning, Debbie, Jennifer, Scarlett, everybody he missed. And how are you doing, Mr. Harry? Good to see you, sir. Yeah, I know. I don't know how she does it, but yeah, I can't do it like her. I'm the same way unless I copy and paste. You can keep doing it. Jennifer. So anyhow, yeah, I buy the different size of these. Like this one's a 6 3/4 by 10. This one's 6 7/8 by 10.5. 6 3/4 by 10.5. So yeah, I buy different sizes on those. Actually, I didn't even realize it. They even have it on the top for you. Modern to current. I have some more in my little space down there where I keep all my supplies. I might as well sleep in. That's right. You deserve it. So if anybody would like to come on up and promote your channel, the link is at the top of the chat. I need to reach out to Victoria and see what's going on with her getting her new so much. She's coming back, y'all. Does anybody know about that? I heard they were saying it in the chat. When is she starting back? And when is she coming on? If she's going to do it, like she did last time. She quit as fast as she started. Glenn, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Well, at any time you want it. Do you anything about Pokemon cards? I'm still learning about them. I have some. I've purchased some. I've got some for free at garage sales, but I don't know anything about them because I haven't really dug into them yet. New 8 o'clock show. So she's coming back to the morning show? Got to reach out to her. Let's see. Sick. I got. Ew. You got to do that. At 11. Well, you're saying 11, and little Debbie says she's coming back at 8. She's coming back in a few weeks. She's moving. I know she's moving homes. I heard her say that on Ella's show Friday. Yeah. Let's see. Roy Horizon Picks knows a bit about Pokemon. There you go. I believe it when I say. Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. But didn't she have to start packing her house because she's moving to like another house in her neighborhood somewhere? Is what she said Friday. Oh, you're talking about Ella and, okay, yeah, Ella and Picky Nicky go on at 11. Yep, that's true. So if anybody would like to come on up, you're more than welcome to. The link is at the top of the chat. Also, don't forget to check out the calendar, the community calendars for all those to see. It is in the community tab below. That way you can check and see who's going live, when, where, what time. Let's see here. Also, this Thursday, I will be on with Ella at 1 o'clock. And then at 7:15, I'll be on with Glamour's Closet. I know she starts early, but my time slot's at 7:15, and I'm usually there before the show starts. So yeah, that's where I'll be at this week. And if anybody has any questions about reselling. Oh, I forgot to hit done on my listing I was doing before the show. Done. Somebody's watching that item already. I just listed that this morning, yesterday, and somebody was already watching it after the show was ended. All right, Glenn, don't work too hard. Yep. I got 4 watches already on that one from this morning, and I just listed that this morning. Let's see. Victoria said she missed the morning show, but I don't know if she is coming back. Well, little Debbie dropped a link, and it says in 20 days, August 6th, 8 a.m. The morning show with Victoria. We're back, baby. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, Jennifer. Believe it when we see it. There's the link to her show. All right, Glenn, don't work too hard. Hubby finally caught the frog. It's been driving me nuts. Oh, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a commitment. You got to make sure you're ready to do it. I love doing it. Because at least before the show, I got all my listings done. I got all my packing done, pulled all my orders. I love doing it. Johnny, I was late this morning. Oh, no. Well, thank you for being here, though. Was that last guest specifically just coming? Yes. Yes. Today. Yeah. He couldn't stay the whole show. He had to go to work. But he was gracious enough to come on up when I asked him. So, yeah, that was Michael. Angry Auto Reacts. He's in the chat. Renee. Let me go right here. That was Michael. Yeah. Yep. Today was comics. And I try to do a different topic every Tuesday and Thursday. Like this Thursday, we're going to have, let me get to that calendar. I'm trying to get anyone else who would like to be on for a particular topic about reselling. Guess who's on this weekend, this Thursday? Philly Flipper. We're going to be talking about Whatnot. I have to say, sometimes you can find some good deals on Whatnot for reselling, because I have. Yep, this Thursday. We're going to be talking about Whatnot. I find it's a good place to resource. Which I have not seen Mr. Andrew this morning. Has anybody seen Mr. Andrew this morning? He can come back next time and talk more about travel. Yep. I'll reach out to him because he goes to work early in the morning. So yeah, look at this, 35 years. Look, he's still here. So Michael, let me know when you are available for a Tuesday or a Thursday, and we'll talk about traveling, because that's what he does. He knows a bit about that subject. After 35 years, I would think so. So yeah, Michael, let me know when you're available. I already have the next 2 Thursdays booked. Anything after that on a Thursday or any Tuesday hereafter. You can let me know by Instagramming me when you're available. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. There he is. He heard his name, y'all. Hello, good morning, and welcome, Flip Flops and Lollipops. How are you doing? Good to see you. Cheryl, hello, good morning, and welcome, and how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Working and listening. I understand that because I've been doing that all morning. Sometimes my hip hurts so bad that I can get out of bed. Yeah, I understand that. I can't not sit in the recliner a lot because that's when my hip starts hurting. I was up late last night. Oh, I was in bed early. And I woke up late this morning. I got 9 hours of sleep last night. I was out. Never woke up during the night. I was late after project on the garden canning. Canning recipes. Good morning, hello, and welcome, Flip Flops and Lollipops. Good to see you. How are you doing? Michelle says, what is a good place to source? What not is a good place? Yeah, exactly. I recommend a hip replacement, Renee. I love canning. Best ever. Ramia, hello, good morning, and welcome, and how are you doing? You snuck right on in. Good to see you. Good to see y'all. So if you have any questions about reselling, feel free to ask away. And again, what it is that I try to bring a topic of something that somebody may not remember or want or know. Like next Thursday, I do have scheduled Toochman, and we're going to be talking about, because I use this website as well, and it's Max Sold, where you can purchase things in your local area if it's available in your area online. It's like almost like an estate sale, but through an auction lot. And they do a lot of lots, by the way. Mike Frank says short about this new business liquidation markdown place. I heard about that. I got his channel open. Why I don't see that video? Oh, you said it was a short. That's why. Okay, I'll look it up. Oh, so Unimagic says, I've been working hard on my room, putting up shelves and stuff for glass and stuff in purpose for auction. Awesome. Presentation, right? That is awesome. And Catherine, hello, good morning, and welcome, and how are you doing? Waiting and listening. My husband's getting his brain MRI. Oh, definitely keep me on my thoughts and prayers. How you doing, Catherine? Last night I canned tomatoes, peaches, salsa peach. Ooh, that sounds good. You must have understood. Let's see, Jennifer. Hip replacement. Everybody's talking back and forth to each other. Post pictures on my community tab. Really? I'm gonna check it out. Also, don't forget today is Glass City Picker. No, Queen City Picker. I don't know why I said Glass City Picker. That's what Tommy. Yep, Queen City Picker goes live at 9, y'all. Renee. So, Jennifer, how are you doing since you had your surgery? Are you okay now? Let's see, Johnny. I missed your show. Last statement was company to do auctions in your area. Oh, tomorrow, Thursday of. Let me get back to that calendar. Next Thursday, like this Thursday is going to be about whatnot. Next Thursday, the 25th, will be about the topic for next Thursday, not this week, but next. We're going to be talking about a Max, M-A-X, sold online auctions. It's more like an estate sale through this company. And it's mainly so many miles away from your home. And we'll talk more about that on Thursday because I've used that. So has Robert. Robert's got me hooked on it. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that next Thursday. And Ryan, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? And that's just other ways to source. Helping you think about ways to source. That's right, you do. Did you? I didn't get to see it yet. I have it ready to look at, though. I have it up on my screen up here to look at. I didn't see her comment yet. I've been okay. I was never in no serious pain, just sore muscles and like. But after surgery, yeah, it's always going to be questionable, making sure you're okay. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Yep. Just double checking. You know, we worry about you. All right, everybody, well, it's getting to that time. My numbers are going down, as well as we have Queen City Picker going live at 9. The links have been dropped in the chat, so let's go ahead and raid Queen City Picker. And as I say before I end each and every show, if you would like to come on after the show is over, that link is at the top of the chat. And as I say before I end each and every show, love always, love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day until we meet again. Later. Peace out. And y'all come back now, you hear?